Welcome back, dear listeners, to the podcast, to the DewatchPod podcast of Black Mirror. I am Jim with a G.
And I am Jorgen Smorgasbord.
And we've been hunted by this murderous robotic cat. Now, thankfully, the cat found a very nice box and has been sleeping for the last 6 or 7 hours, so we figure we have some time to do a podcast before we continue our escape. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I just hope he remains well fed and very sleepy.
I think we can be certain of that.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, he will feast on our bones.
As it is with all cats.
That's right.
Shall we do whether we believe it? What is the name of this episode? Is Metalhead.
The name of this episode is Metalhead.
Yeah. Shall we do the countdown of whether we recommend this or not?
No. Jorgen here. Quick warning: this episode and our discussion of it contain discussion of suicide. So heads up if you want to avoid that.
I went into this and I had an image of what this episode is going to be like, what I remember from the first time many years ago, and I was right, and I was just like, man, yeah, this is kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, and
you got to experience that for the first time, Jorgen.
Yeah, and let's get right to it. This episode is going to be summarized quite quickly, as you will learn. There are 3 people going to a warehouse. They're looking for, it's implied medicine for, like, someone who's dying.
Yeah, we are given hints already that this is an apocalyptic setting. They're talking about how there aren't any pigs anymore. Everything is black and white.
Yeah.
We have now summarized the gimmick of this episode to start with.
Yeah. And, yeah, that's kind of, they go to the warehouse, like, they're very tense, and we're given sort of, like non-indirect clues that this is a dangerous situation they're entering, but we're not told as to what's happening yet.
Yeah.
But then, they find their quarry, which is a box, in the warehouse, and behind it lurks
a scare cord. Sorry, a robotic dog.
Yeah, and, like, it sort of shoots a, like, sort of frag grenade, I guess?
Yeah, it shoots like a... I don't know, like, I guess it's just a grenade, technically, but it seems like it's more about sending out, like, these little tracker chips and embedding them in the flesh of people nearby.
But we don't see that quite yet. We see it, like, fucking murking, like, the 2 people who are not the final girl.
Yeah, they get down to the final girl within, I want to say, 2 minutes of the threat being revealed.
Yeah, no, like, it's real fast. And then, like, what happens next? We have, like, a daring car escape where the robot dog is sort of trapped in a car and falls down a cliff.
Yeah,
which is
surprisingly not exploding. I was like, I didn't remember it exploding, but I was like, sure, it's gotta explode if it's a car falling down elevation.
Yeah, this is how it loses its, like, gun, I think.
Yeah, it, like, gets trapped and it has to, like, pull out one of its legs.
Yeah, which it does relentlessly, and then it goes back to the hunt. And in the meantime, our final girl, or, like, middle-aged woman, is doing, like, some emergency surgery on herself, and she gets it, like, distracted for a bit by packing the tracker chip in a bottle and tossing it in a stream. A while later, she sort of does a radio call, and the robot listens in. We never see or hear from another person again.
No, but we get multiple names of characters that do not actually exist in this episode. She goes...
Show up, yeah.
Yeah, she sits on this radio for a bit and says, man, I sure shouldn't be doing this because the robot's going to track me. But go straight down.
She seems to be just, like, a bit more optimistic about her time frame, I guess.
I suppose.
Unwarrantedly. And the robot gets to her and she's like, oh no, I'm going to run on this tree. And she climbs the tree and the robot can't follow because its leg is fucked up.
Yeah, but it decides to lay a siege, and she basically, I guess, forces it to use too much of its power because it's powered by sun panels or something.
I don't see us getting that information, actually.
I don't think it's clear. I think it's either that or the dog is like, I see, she's tricking me by, like, throwing these little candies at me to get me to power up.
See, I was thinking, like, it has, like, a nuclear source.
Okay, interesting. But yeah.
Like, we're never given to understand. So the things we learn in this segment is that, like, yeah, they do run out of power, and she, like, runs it out of power quite proficiently.
Yeah.
But, like, they just get back up.
Yeah.
After a while. And I guess sort of, like, I don't want to, like, cinema sense this, because I think, like, it's more interesting to read it as, like a sort of tacit world building. Like, she doesn't, like, get the robot while it's fucking out, right? She's just like, yeah, I'm clearly not equipped to deal with this. And she just books it. The implication, I guess, being that it, like, maybe has some emergency power or something.
Yeah, I think it feels to me like it's implied that this dog is really, really tough.
Yeah.
Like, because she kicks it and it, like, does nothing except kind of, like, jam it into a part of the car earlier during the car escape.
Yeah, and I guess, like, maybe for, like, a visual reference, this is
Boston Dynamics.
Yeah, this is Boston Dynamics brackets armored.
It's honestly very cute.
Really?
I found it very cute. I don't know, maybe that speaks to me having the genetics that will allow us to survive the robot apocalypse, but, you know.
Something like that.
Which I'm not passing on, which I suppose really ruins that. Anyway.
Well, you know.
So she finds a house.
Yeah, there's a house. Some dude blasted his brains out in the attic. Note to self, content warning for suicide in the beginning.
Yeah. Good one.
Well, we won't edit that out, to be clear. I guess you know that because you're hearing all of this.
Yeah, you've been content warned by this point. You cannot sue us.
Yeah.
Also, we don't have a lot to be sued for, to be honest. I don't think this is a particularly valuable enterprise in monetary senses.
Yeah, no, we're not making a lot of wealth from this. But yeah, no, she's like, alright, I can patch up my leg, which has been leaving a very reliable blood trail that the dog has been tracking me.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that, to be honest.
I think that was the idea.
I mean, I also think it just sucks to run around with, like, a half-blasted leg.
Yeah.
But yeah, she gets...
We don't know that if she knows, because maybe she would have done more to stop the bleeding.
I suppose, yeah. But at this point, she gets the loot, she gets a shotgun, and she gets the car keys.
Yeah. Is it a shotgun, or is it just like a huge barrel rifle?
Surely it's a shotgun. I mean, just by the standards of the genre, it has to be a shotgun.
I suppose. Like,
and I think you can see her, like, taking out what looks like a shell. Like, if it was like a rifle, you'd expect, like, a proper magazine, right?
Maybe.
Also,
I
like,
don't know. It's probably a shotgun.
Also, like, if now that the content warning is already out there, if you're gonna blast yourself in the head, like, surely a shotgun is just a more demonstrated way to do it than, like, a rifle, like a hunting rifle.
I mean, I don't think that one was for a statement.
Maybe not, but it just seems appropriate.
But yeah, no. The robot dog tracks her to this thing, and we see that it just, like, can hack anything from, like, with, like, a tiny slit in every digital interface.
Yeah, because there's a little gate outside that it hacks its way out. To be honest, I thought it was just gonna, like, fucking jump over the gate, but I guess it's already been established.
Its jumping capacities were established to be low, yeah.
Yeah, I know, that's consistent world building, I suppose.
Yeah.
We do reverse cinema sins and go, yeah, okay.
And yeah, no, basically what happens is that, she sort of home alones the dog until she escalates to shotgunning the dog.
Yeah, she basically, I was really thinking about it in the moment, because what happens is that she throws this bucket of white paint over the dog, and the dog is now blind. And in my head, I was, like, rehearsing, like, what is the good joke to do here? Am I gonna say that this is, like, the Three Stooges, but much more deadly, or is this a joke about, like, oh man, if only the murder dog had windshield wipers, this wouldn't be an issue? Because to be clear, the dog is blind for the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
Like, it really did not have a solution whatsoever to having white paint thrown on its face.
This is not a problem-solving creature.
Yeah. I don't know. It finds this knife and it goes around being a knife dog for a little bit.
Here's the thing. Okay, let's focus on the knife for a second.
Okay,
because
yes.
its signature move with the knife seems to be like a weird drilling motion.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cute.
It doesn't seem very efficient.
It is gory though. Like, I have to give it as, like, a horror episode. Like, the idea of having someone, like having this robot stick a knife into you and then spin it, that's pretty good. Like, that evokes something, I think.
I don't know, it looks very goofy to me.
I mean, the dog in general, I think, is very goofy.
No, yeah, no, but yeah, no, she home alones the dog with some paint, and then, like, she tries to escape, and the dog, like, hears, oh, there's music, and it stabs the speakers.
It does stab the speakers, yeah, because it comes, like, it's where she's trying to escape via car, the radio comes on, and she does not go, I should turn off the radio. She goes, I guess, ambush time.
Yeah, because the car's not working, so good on her.
Yeah.
And, yeah, no, she blasts the dog twice with the shotgun.
The dog does get in a good stab, and a bit of a spin, I think.
Yeah, it's like a spinny stab. We don't really focus on that though, because she does some good blasting. Yeah. But oh no, in its final moment, it does another frag tracking grenade on her.
And she has been hit by many of these trackers, including in her throat. So she goes, "Guess I can't dig this one out without bleeding to death," which probably kind of sucks. And then credits. Well, not quite credits. Like the final.
Yeah, she is like kills herself like with the screen like ever so slightly like covered, so we're like in a bit of ambiguity, like if she does it on screen or if she'll do it like in a minute. And we sort of like get some aerial of like the hounds converging.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
Which, again, I'm really trying to, I think you can cinema sense this episode a lot, so I'm just trying to stay away from it. But it kind of makes me wonder, like, if one tracker that you got earlier didn't bring all the dogs, why did this tracker bring a bunch of extra
Maybe
dogs?
they're just like actually pretty spread out and they've just spent some time converging.
They've just been hanging about. Yeah, then we get a final shot of the package they were trying to get at the start at the warehouse, which is teddy bears, which I guess implies that the dying person was a child.
Yeah. And also that they had no chance to actually save anyone.
Well, I think that was established earlier, that it's more about, like, palliative care, but in a much more purely emotional sense, I guess. Yeah, that's the entire episode. That's probably described in more detail than needed.
Yeah, and it's like, what, 45 minutes, maybe?
41 minutes. The only shorter episode in Black Mirror is Macy Day. And, oh boy, what a comparison, don't you think?
Well, I don't think they were alike at all.
Okay. What do you think about this episode, dear Jorgen?
It's dull.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay. I don't think we can... I know we are who we are. I just can't mine anything out of this episode in terms of meaning.
Well, let's go through it a bit schematically.
Okay, sure.
So what this episode is doing is, like, it's just, like, a fairly straightforward horror flick in, like, 40 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I'm very squeamish. I'm easily scared. I do not watch horror. And this does nothing for me. I'm like, oh yeah, it's pretty small though. Like, yeah. I know that this is sort of implied to be scary, but it's kind of small, isn't it?
Like, it's one of those things where, like, at the beginning of the episode when they still had cars, I was like, listen, I get that this is like military tech or something, whatever, but it just kind of feels like you could drive into it really good and like punt it real far and probably like push some of the gears out of position. I don't know, like, it just, it really doesn't do anything for me. Like, I think the dog is cute, and that's not where you want the horror protagonist to be. And, like, even if you don't agree that maybe you don't think it's cute, it doesn't feel viscerally threatening.
No, like I can see what they're going for here, right? They're going for, like, yeah, no, this is just a killing machine. Like, it executes without, like, hesitation or remorse.
Yeah, this is Terminator, right? Like, this is a weird Terminator.
Well, I think Terminator...
I haven't seen Terminator.
Terminator leans into a bit more of like, personality.
Yeah,
you know?
like, and that's the thing, right? That's what I feel is missing here to make this interesting. Like, even the main character, like, fills the Sarah Connor role pretty well, right? As a, like, oh yeah, like, she's a determined, badass woman, like, doing whatever she can, is fairly, like, innovative, I guess, in her strategies. But it, like, I don't care about her, honestly. Like, she has this... Yeah. There's the first radio scene where we just get a bunch of names mentioned, and I'm like, nah, like, I don't feel for it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, there's just, like, I feel like I feel like we can't even pin this one on Charlie Brooker, to be honest. Like, I think this one's on the director.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, no, like, I think, like, conceptually, there's something here, right? But, like, I don't know, I feel like the cinematographic language is just not telling me to be scared in a successful manner.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of that. I think, to be honest, I think there's some on the writing.
I mean, there's, like, it's always some on the writing.
For sure. Like, I think the big thing that's missing for me is a reason to care. Like, a reason... Because there's nothing about the world that is that interesting. There's nothing about the enemy that is that interesting. It's... Yeah, like, the idea of, like, oh, this thing will pursue you no matter where you go. You can do that. But, like, it doesn't do much more than that, right? Like, it's a little robot dog. I can't bring myself to be that scared or care that much about it.
Yeah, I don't, like...
I mean, like, on the cinematography, I want to ask you a question. Why is this episode in black and white?
Great question. I don't know.
Well, because I had a thought that, like, it's probably meant to be, like, the dog, like, scans its surroundings in black and white.
Maybe.
But, like, beyond that, there isn't, like, a lot to say about it, right? Like, to be honest, like, I don't know much about cinematography. But the way it's filmed makes the black and white just feel a bit weird. Like, it just feels like it obscures details at some points and makes it very hard to even really get what's going on at times. Like, it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, no, like, there's one, like, shot when she's in the house and she's like, oh, she starts to smell that there's a body upstairs. And we get, like, this zoom of realization. And I went back because it was like, wait, is this a reverse shot for her, like, seeing something? Like, there's just, like, some very basic conveyance of, like, information that is not, like, working that well.
Yeah, like, I suspect the idea might also have been just to be like, oh, it's bleak, it's hopeless. But, like, Black Mirror does that a lot. But it doesn't need a black and white filter to do it.
Yeah, no, like, I know, like, she's British, right?
Yeah. So that's
think,
also, like, a part of the hopelessness, I suppose.
No, I'm thinking, like, maybe it would have been, like, more interesting if it had been, like, oh, yeah, no, like, this is just, like, somewhere in, like, I don't know, like, maybe the north or something of, like, England, where it's just, like, oh, yeah, no, this is not like Fallout land. This isn't the desert, right? There's nothing like... The environment is very mundane, and like do something with that, maybe?
Yeah, I think that could have been a fun contrast and nothing else, right? Like to have this like vibrant greenery contrasting this like perfect, calculating, logical killbot.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to say it means anything more than that. I just think it would have been interesting.
Yeah, but like... I don't know, I feel like there was just something missing in that to just convey the menace. Because, like, I get intellectually what we're supposed to be scared by. Like, it's just, like, the sort of, like, the very perfunctory, like, killing. But it does not land for me, and it does not land for you, and judging from it being ill-acclaimed, it does not land for most people.
Well, I actually looked it up, and it did claim mostly positive reviews.
Fucking hell. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's the thing we're always confronting here, right? That, like...
I mean, to be fair, like, in this one, it is just, like, I'm glad it worked for the people, right? It's not like I'm like, oh, yeah, no, this is, like, intellectually...
It's not beyond the sea.
Yeah, no, like, it's not, like, a very stupid episode. Like, it's too simple.
Yeah, like, I had a thought, like, if this was the graduating work of someone in film school, I would have been like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's kind of not what you expect out of season 4 of an acclaimed anthology that aspires to mean stuff.
Yeah, no, I guess, like, maybe, like, one thing to think about is that, like, the direction was intentionally, like, restrained to be like, yeah, you know, like, we're not gonna, like, paint this thing as, like, violent and savage. Like, we're just gonna paint it as, like, very perfunctory. But, like, Then they throw in like a little flourishes, like, oh yeah, no, it's clearly having a bit of fun with the knife.
Yeah, because
And it
previously,
doesn't-
like, the two previous kills, I think, are just like race one of the paws, headshot,
Yeah,
like single headshot, and it's done.
yeah, and yeah, no, I know. I guess like, do we have anything more in like a functioning on the of the episode?
God, I don't know. Like, I expected this to be our shortest episode going in,
Yeah.
so I guess I'm not losing that much in saying that there's not much more to say. But also, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's gotta be something too, right? Like, how did this happen? Why does this episode exist? Did they just have the moment where they're like, oh, let's just do something wacky?
Well, I mean, I feel like it makes sense, right? It's like, oh yeah, no, it's a Killer Robots episode, and it's trying to be like a bit realistic about like, yeah, no, it's not Terminator, like they're just gonna fucking get you. But like we're not given enough information for there to be like that much like analysis of like this sort of implied scenario.
No, like the world building is nothing, right? Like, I even think at the start of the episode, there's some fun stuff because the three people we do see in the episode seem mostly like fine. They don't seem like hugely emaciated. They don't look like they're carrying around huge scars.
Their dialogue sucks though, so maybe they're afflicted in that way.
Okay, fine, but they're just British, okay? Like, you can't blame them for how they were born. But yeah, I don't know, like, if you just take the start, you could see it developing into something more interesting, right? Because you kind of get this view, I guess, of the places they go, where it's like, it doesn't look like it's been like nuclear hellfire or anything.
Yeah.
Like, most things are in pretty good condition. And that's kind of neat, but I mean, nothing's done with it, so like, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where, again, we can point to Black Mirror having potential, but if it doesn't do anything with that potential, that's kind of where the conversation stops for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can do like a bit of counterfactuals about like what the actual scenario might be.
Sure.
Like, well, here's the thing, right?
You don't want to do that.
Well, no, it's quite difficult because, like, okay, we're in a warehouse. It's the association Amazon.
I was thinking Amazon warehouse, but like, because like, okay, you can start speculating a little bit about like why are these robots out here? Why are they killing people? And you could probably have made something about like, oh yeah, like no, corporations got really worried about Amazon workers stealing from their warehouses, so they made a kill dog. But that's all on the viewer to make up, you know? That's all fanon.
Like, see, I don't think. Well, first of all, we're not being given enough to like be even prompted into like extrapolating hard. We're not like, oh yeah, no, it's like Skynet or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we're just being given nothing.
Well, it's like one of those points, I think. I think there is a genuinely good writing lesson to be learned here, where leaving gaps in what you are told is a good thing for people to speculate about and to, like, imagine what fills those gaps. But if you give us nothing, there's no impetus to go off of. There's no interest to actually do the speculation. Because, like, if you get this episode, like, and you want to try to figure out what's going on in the world, you are doing all the work. The episode's giving you nothing.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, just go write your own thing in that case. You can start with killer robots, that's fine, but that's, you know, that's a genre. That's not a thing. That's not a...
I don't know, like, I guess the world is overrun with them.
Yeah, like, I was gonna say, like, in a way, I think this almost has, like, condensed zombie apocalypse vibes, right?
Yeah.
Because like I think robotic apocalypses can usually have a more like fully authoritarian sort of vibe to them. But like also like I don't know. This is one of those I hate being unenthusiastic about an episode, but that's really what this is bringing out in me, you know?
Yeah.
Like Macy Day was fun to talk about. Like Rachel, Jack, and Ashley too, hilarious, extremely fun. One of my favorite episodes we've done. This has nothing. This does not get me going.
Yeah, I guess you can like make an argument that we're sort of inhabiting the information environment of the characters, because I don't know, but like we're not even being told, like, oh yeah, now one day the dog showed up and they started fucking killing people. Right? We don't know if this lady, like, understands the tracker thing.
Yeah.
Like, we eventually figure it out, like, from context, but, like, we don't know if she thinks she's safe until she isn't. We don't know what information she does or doesn't have.
We don't know what drives her decision making, right? And I think that's what really hit me about the scene where she gets up on the radio and, like, because at first I'm like, oh yeah, like, this is how the dog gets her, but she doesn't know it. But then it turns out she does know it, and I'm kind of like I don't know, like, I know we're getting into, like, CinemaSins territory, but it's also like, if she knows she can be tracked by it and she's not doing anything important with the radio, why do it? Like, it just kind of, it ends up feeling a little bit like a contrivance to keep, like, oh yeah, she could have gotten away, but the dog comes back. It's truly relentless, and I'm just like, it doesn't feel like it's earned it.
Like, we're mostly, like, noticing an absence, which is that it's not, like, mimicking a human voice. It's just sort of, like, doing the bare minimum to fool her into thinking she's reached someone. I think.
Wait, do you think that she was calling someone on the radio, like that the dog was faking the other person?
Yeah.
I don't think that's it at all.
Oh, I thought it, like, made a whistling when she was like, just whistle.
Yeah.
I thought that was what that was.
No, I don't think that's the dog. I think that was just bad radio.
Maybe.
I think the dog just tracked her because it was like, oh yeah. And I mean, to be honest, like, the idea of a dog being able to track, like a robot being able to track someone via, radio seems very, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We're kind of just sitting here being a little bit sad today, I think.
Yeah. No.
Like, when we've had those really missed opportunity episodes before, I feel like we've come into it with a bit of righteous anger. And it's not here today.
Yeah, no, this one, I feel like this one just sort of is, like, deflated from the start.
Yeah, like, I was gonna say, like, I guess missed potentials isn't really what I'm feeling about this one.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that wonders if we're judging this too harshly just because it's a Black Mirror episode, but, like, I don't know. I feel like this could have been a 10-minute student film, and it would have been fine.
Yeah. I know, like, honestly, like, I'm mostly hung up about the direction, because, like, sure, the writing, like, it doesn't give that much, but, like, we're just given, like, no menace or anything.
Because I think the menace is supposed to come from the, like, pure persistence, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not abnormally brutal or grotesque. It is efficient, and it's just pursuing you. That's the entire idea. But if that doesn't do it for you, and to be honest, like, in a weird way, like, it doesn't feel like the persistence comes out that much. Like,
no.
Like, they're having, like, a bit of a chase, for sure, but, like, it's not to the point where I'm like, oh my god, it will truly never stop chasing her, because it kind of does, and then it gets back on it, and, like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Like, if she'd never gotten out of the car...
Yeah.
And, she'd have, like, I don't know, we see her, like, interacting with someone else, and they realize, like, oh, no, you've got a dog on you. I need to get away from you ASAP. Maybe that.
Yeah, like, is this... So I have not seen It Follows, but isn't that the, like, logical...
I haven't seen It Follows either.
Alright, well, I thought you had. Okay, never mind. Well...
No, I'm a horror wuss.
Fair enough. I was gonna say, like, I feel like that's the corollary about the idea of persistence being the scary thing, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, we are, like, humans are the persistence hunters, so I think we're uniquely ill-equipped to feel that kind of horror, in a weird way.
Maybe. But yeah, no, like, it's just, like... I feel like this one just fails on all fronts.
Yeah, like... yeah. I don't know, like, this is probably the most confident I've felt to say no to an episode recommendation.
Sure.
Like, it's just kind of a waste of time. Like, you get it.
There's no meat on this bone.
There's no point. Like, I don't care whether she lives or dies. I get that this dog is gonna run after her a lot, and it's scary, kinda. Yeah, and then we're done. Then I'm done. Then I'm checked out.
Yeah. Like, to, like, zoom away to, like, a truly, like, thematic layer. I think this, like... This also, like, loses something in the... Because, like, I feel like we're doing something a bit odd here, right? Because we are doing, like, a post-apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, right? And that's not... Like, why, though? Right? Like, that doesn't actually contribute anything. Right? Like,
Yeah.
this could just be, like, in a war zone, and it's like...
I mean, like, I think being in a war zone and being in a post-apocalypse, in a limited sense, is kind of the same thing. I think the attempt at being a post-apocalypse is the idea of, like, horror by implication, right? It's like, oh, these dogs must have killed a lot of people. And I'm like, but I don't care. Like, if you can't make it viscerally scary in the moment, the implications don't further the horror.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that in that way, like, it just, like, removes it further from our experience. And I think that's, like, a lot of the ways that this episode falls short, right? It makes it, like, black and white. It makes it, like, post-apocalyptic. And it makes it, like, further from our experience in all these ways. And I think that detracts from it. And I think the other major failing that I sort of want to hone in on is that this isn't, like, the most current, like, way in which, like, the usage of artificial intelligence broadly in warfare, or, like, in an armed capacity in general, is, like, scary. And like, we've seen Charlie Brooker be, like, substantively prescient at points.
And this is not one of them.
This is not one of them, because, like, I think he's just prescient when he's, like, plugged into sort of, like, tech and the media stuff.
Yeah, the tech bros, like, unfortunately.
But, like, like, the way that artificial intelligence is actually scary in the context of war at this current time is that if you can just, like, produce, like, semi-plausible, targets for, like, military stuff, right? That's, like, that is what is being currently done with Gaza.
Like, yeah, like, honestly, I think there's a much cooler... Because this is where we're really dialing back. I'm not even suggesting a rework of this episode. I'm suggesting a completely different episode that takes place in a war zone and people are trying to dodge the drones that are out there to kill civilians, right? Like, that's interesting, right? Like, and I think you could even kind of do the same setup with, like, oh yeah, they're kind of home aloneing their way to not getting killed by the drone strikes. Like, there's something there, but, like, this obviously isn't it. So, again, that's for a different show, I guess.
Yeah, but, you know, I do think there is, like, conceptually something, like, interesting and scary to just being like, oh, yeah, no, there's this relentless alien intelligence that wants you dead for reasons that are kind of beyond your comprehension. And we're just not doing that.
Yeah, the post-apocalypse puts it out of mind, like, the particular incarnation of the villain here puts it out of mind, right? Because it's, like, we aren't even... There's no implication that there's something behind these dogs. It's just, yeah, that's a messed up robot dog. It sure seems to want to kill humans. Ain't that fucked up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
I really don't. Next time, we'll be going to Black Museum. It's 69 minutes.
That's a lot longer than this.
That is a lot longer. It's a bit of an anthology. And an anthology, it's kind of like you get multiple stories in one, from what I recall.
That could be good.
It sure could be, couldn't it? But we've said that about many episodes, that it has potential, but we'll see. I don't think it's going to be one of these. I don't think it's going to be like Metalhead, thankfully. But at least we've created a very efficient episode, in a way.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know. I feel like we really stretched out it, because, like, it's going to be the shortest episode so far, and it still
By
feels...
a lot.
Yeah, it still feels like it was too long.
Yeah. No.
But you'll have to forgive our attempts at seeking meaning.
Yeah. No, I guess the lesson of this episode is sometimes there just isn't anything.
Yeah. I think just like sometimes the juice ain't worth the squeeze.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm kind of tempted to pontificate a little bit about our philosophy towards Black Mirror changing. How many episodes do we have left in this season?
There's the next episode is the last one of that season.
Well,
so I think we've certainly gotten some material.
Yeah,
in a way.
we're gaining ammunition for the season discussion.
Ammunition is really hostile way to put it, and yet very accurate, huh?
Yeah. See you next time, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that we keep ourselves distant from the robotic cat. He's currently revealing his robotic little belly, and we're gonna scritch it. Wish us luck.
Yeah, no, we're either gonna come back happy or mangled. And, isn't that life?
Amen.